Coming to you live from my apartment, it's Rob Has a Podcast. And now here's the guy who really thought there was a great performance tonight for a certain low-budget TV show. I'm Rob Cesternino. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Rob's Podcast live Wednesday night after an all-timer tonight on BB26, here to talk about it from every angle, all the reactions to the TV version of the Angela Meltdown. We have two people who were watching it silently as the live feed update went on. First, of course, the man who is with us every day for the live feed updates, Taran Armstrong. Taran, how are you?
Well, Rob, I do have some beef with you.
Oh, boy.
I may have made some comments behind your back. Someone did clip it, so I just want to, full transparency, just play the clip that I said about you.
That son of a bitch wouldn't even hug me.
I'd hug you.
Yeah, but you didn't. You didn't when I needed it,
I was
Rob.
eating.
But that's when I needed. That's when I needed it the most. And you just didn't. You just weren't there. You know?
Yeah. Okay. Let me do better. Just leave my mom out of this, okay?
I can't promise anything.
Okay. All right. Of course, Saturday morning, she couldn't believe what was happening. Of course, here to cover all of the mess, it's Kirsten MacInnis. Kirsten, how are you?
Rob, I hope you're happy that you are a threat to me.
I'm tickled. Yeah. Yes. Okay. No, I'm thrilled tonight. I really am. I think this is going to be such a fun podcast. And I know that I'm very excited to have this person on the panel tonight because I know what a fan he is of Keisha's birthday. And I feel like that this is almost maybe the modern day equivalent. It's AJ Norris. AJ, how are you?
Not great, Rob. Not great at all. I haven't slept in a long time. I know y'all invited me onto this podcast, but this was fake. This is a fake podcast. Y'all are really doing something with Matt and Jacob. Like, it's not real. This is not real. And I understand that y'all threatened by me, but I'm here anyway, and I will win.
No, this is
AJ,
real.
We meant, like, I meant
Podcast
it when I
Collective.
said your beard looks amazing. Like, I'm not lying to you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. No.
Right?
Beard
But
looks
you saw
good.
how I did that? I was
Yeah.
faking. I was acting. Better
You were acting?
I was acting.
It's real.
It was-
Wow, that was a high budget film that we just got to experience. I was going to say, AJ, you're not allowed to be unhappy when they're reuniting us when they normally try to keep us apart.
Yeah.
They really do. Like, it's very disrespectful. That's how I knew it was real. I was like, oh my God, Kirsten's actually here. They weren't lying.
It's real. It's happening. We're live. We're going to take your questions, post them in the chat. We'll take them later on in the show as we cover this story every possible way. And Taran, I thought that they did this justice, right?
They did. I thought this was a great episode. Between like the time they spent to set this up properly, I was worried that they wouldn't do all of the collective stuff and just leave out the low budget movie line because it takes a lot of setup to make that work. But they really seemed to have like shifted the entire way that they would normally edit an episode like this to fit it all in, and it worked. I thought it was great.
Yeah. This was just pure, forget low budget movie. This was cinema. I mean, this was incredible.
Submit it to the Oscars.
This was so special. Obviously, nothing could live up to 9 minutes straight of it, but I think they did about as good of a job as they could possibly do on an edited show, giving the setup, giving everyone's DRs during it, while also including the veto pics and the veto in the episode.
Like,
Yeah.
Big Brother is a show I have lost all faith in. So the fact that they did like a decent job at this, I was like so proud and so happy to see everything unfold. Like all the steps of Angela's drive to insanity to the attack. It was like just so much fun to watch. It was just pure joy and happiness. Like very sad if you didn't get to watch the full 9 minute thing, but like this was nice substitute, like a nice little palette.
Yeah, and I was wondering, are we going to get the veto results? Are we going to get the veto ceremony? Are we going to do one of these things where we do the veto ceremony Thursday night? And I'm like, we're going to do Thursday night and the AI arena and the eviction. Like, what are we even doing? They stuck the landing. They nailed it. So kudos to Big Brother. All we can ask for on a Wednesday night episode. So we will break it all down here tonight. We're so happy to have you with us. We really appreciate our very loyal fan base here on our Rob as a podcast. Shout out to all of our new subscribers to the podcast. We've added a lot of subscribers in the past week, both on YouTube and on our podcast feed as well. We always love to share our reviews that we get. Go to robasawebsite.com/BB26. Got a new review to read on the podcast. We have a podcast review, 5 stars. Your performance is great. Absolutely great for a low budget podcast.
Okay, well,
Wow.
Who's this? This Angela Murray character. I get you. You're trying to make a joke, but like, I don't. That's just people are gonna see this. Like, my mom is gonna see that review. Angela, how do you feel about that? Just think about it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I think she's probably going to be happy to see that and know your true colors, Taran.
Don't even bring my mom up. Why would you bring my mom up out of nowhere like that?
Yeah.
That is disgusting.
Listen, your mom will get to see that the brat you truly are, Taran. The brat you are on this podcast.
I am being attacked right now. and
Yeah,
it is
wow, Brat
ridiculous.
Summer. It's
Brat
so
Summer.
real.
Yeah. So I just wanted to bring that up real quick. If anybody else wants to leave their review, you can go to robasawebsite.com/BB26 to leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Okay. All right. We got to begin with the all-time fight. I guess let's just go start from a historical perspective. Am I being hyperbolic, AJ, of that this was an all-time Big Brother fight?
Like, it was literally a you had to be there. Like, you had to watch it. As soon as it started, it was like people were glued. If you were working, you stopped working. You had to watch to
Not
see this
Taran
go
and
down.
Kirsten.
Yeah,
Some of us kept working, actually.
And I respect y'all for it. Could not have been me, because if I missed out on that, like, because you don't expect it, you don't see it coming. That's the wild thing. Like, usually there's like some buildup where you're like, okay, I see where this is going. This is the AM. Like, people are just vibing, like eating breakfast and stuff like that. And Angela said, we're gonna start today off with a bang.
Yeah. Well, the only buildup was that we got a little bit of it in the episode was when she was up all night talking to herself.
Rehearsing. An actress. Honestly,
Yes.
she's raised the bar. I want anyone who's going to confront anyone in the Big Brother house, I want them to prepare their arguments.
Yes.
Honestly, give your written submissions before you argue before the court. Like, be prepared. It's not enough to just be in the moment anymore.
So, all right, for Kirsten and Taran, you two famously were on the live feed update on Saturday when this was going on in the house. In the moments leading up to the live feed update, were you aware that she was planning this confrontation to happen like in the early morning?
So I had seen that she was talking to herself.
Yes.
And I did not realize what it was for. I figured like, oh, she's like talking to herself in the night. Like I will like, if it's necessary, I'll look into it for tomorrow's update. Like, you know, if she's saying anything game related, because she was just kind of like rambling on, like, and she had been doing it like for a good portion of the night too, about like how she did, because I already clocked that she had talked about not trusting Quinn and the proposal of the alliance. I didn't realize that she was prepping for a speech.
Well, it typically, you know, when someone prepares for a speech, they maybe like sit upright. They're maybe looking in a mirror to see how they're going to come across. You know, obviously you can't have cue cards in the Big Brother house, but like there's like things that you expect when someone's preparing for something, and laying in bed talking to themselves is maybe not like 7 a.m.
Yeah, I
wake
agree.
up call. I thought everyone was going to be way too tired to be doing anything.
I had just noticed it like having the feeds on but not really paying like super close attention. It's just like jarring that you don't usually see somebody just in bed talking to themselves, like and the cameras were on her. It's like, what is she doing? Who is she talking to? Is she just like cam talking in the middle of the night? And it was such a precursor. We caught a little bit in the episode. She said she wanted to,
Can't remember the exact right words. To crucify crazy eyes.
Crucify crazy eyes.
Crucify him. You know, listen.
Don't mess with mama.
Don't mess with
It's
mama.
a bit much. It's a bit much.
I think
Yeah.
though, like my experience of watching this, and perhaps Kirsten's, if you had the video, I'm not sure if you had the video up at the time, but like it's somewhat unique in the sense that we saw it visually before we heard it. So I was describing that it was just like lots of like big gestures, and then all of a sudden, like that, and like I was like, what could she possibly be saying?
Yeah.
And then when I found out what she was saying, it was so much better than I could possibly have imagined.
Incredible. Could we just go around the horn real quick? Like, does Matt have crazy eyes? AJ.
I'm a bad person to start.
Yeah. What do you
because
think?
I have watched the feeds and I was like, why is your eyes like that?
You say yes.
Yeah. Well, pause. Not all the time, but it's
Okay.
like at moments.
Okay.
At moments he has it.
Kirsten, yes or no? Matt does have crazy eyes.
Sometimes things are true and you don't have to say it. You can
Okay.
just let things speak for themselves.
Yes. Okay. Taran?
I will defend Matt's eyes. I've mentioned this before. I have been known to have some buggy eyes,
Expressive
at
eyes, yeah.
times. And so I can relate to people making fun of your eyes. So I will defend Matt's eyes.
Yeah.
Where's the
I
defense?
just can't. I
feel
want
that
to
was
be
more
very
like explanation.
clear. I want to be very clear. It's not his eyes themselves that are inherent. Like, there's nothing wrong with his eyes or his appearance or anything like that.
Yes.
Sometimes there is an expression in his eyes that could only be described as crazed. You know, like it's not anything. It's just that he gets really into it. I do the same thing. I'm sure anyone who's like a passionate person has their moments like that. It's not like an indictment on his looks or like an actual value judgment. I just want to be very clear.
Yeah, he doesn't strike me as crazy eyes so much that's like the number one thing she's going with, but I am keenly aware of it, like if his eyes his pupils move in the shot at all now. She's brought a lot of attention to it. But
She surely has.
yes. Okay. All right. Let's just break down the fight because there's so many great moments. And Taran, you did such a great job over the weekend, both in the real time and then on Sunday with Scally. The full breakdown, incredible. But now we got to see it. Went out to millions of people tonight. Got to enjoy the incredible moment and. There were so many great lines and moments from this. She opens up to talk about how she's really just so flattered that Matt would go through all this. Now, I guess what I would love to know is, as somebody who's followed all the live feed updates, I know that we opened up on that the first night of the feeds, Matt was carrying on, holding court in the storage room. How much of that was him plotting against Angela? Like, is there a kernel of truth where Angela is right on some level about what Matt is up to?
I mean, I'd say it's more than a kernel. It's pretty much wholly the truth. I mean, he very much, and I would say in terms of like how intentionally threatening was he, I don't think he was trying to intimidate her when he said it, but he did say like, you shouldn't put me on the block. We saw it in the episode. You shouldn't put me on the block because I'm just going to come down. And he repeated that to many people throughout the house. Like, it'd be stupid to put me up on the block because I have 2 chances to come down. And of course, lots of people were happy to indulge him in that line of thinking, like, you're so right, Matt, you will come down. And so, beyond that, he was upset about the showman's thing. Makensy really wanted Angela out because she had made some comments about Angela that had gotten back to, or that she thought had gotten back to Angela, and it did eventually get back to Angela. So there's a lot of talk about targeting Angela, building an alliance, and putting her up on the block next week. So she, and that's why on the first night of feeds, people were like, "Wow, look at Angela clocking that Matt is in the storage room plotting against her. Like, she is on top of it." Now it turns out she just believes that people are plotting against her anytime anybody's in any room. But she happened to be right the first time we saw her do it.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So she's so flattered because crazy eyes, and she's going all in on the crazy eyes. I think it took a minute for Matt to register that crazy eyes was him.
Yes. Well, and Rob, I feel like, honestly, part of the best part of this was the slow clap lead in, and how
did she start that?
She
did,
started
yes.
slow clapping on the way down the stairs, and then the best part of it is that other people join in.
Yeah,
like it's like something.
They thought
good.
it was a skit. They were like, "Oh, we just did a talent show last night. This must be a performance. Let's clap." And then quickly that kind of fades away.
Yeah, well,
the other thing.
It like it like they clap, and then it fades into like Matt, and Tucker's just like,
what? Read that wrong.
I just can't imagine what it would feel like if somebody came down slow clapping, and then other people started slow clapping, and I was like, okay, I guess I gotta join in, and then it leads into somebody getting called out, and I'm like, what did I just participate in?
See, Tara was like, what did I just participate in? I'd be like, what did I just participate in, baby?
But AJ, isn't that the like connective tissue here with Keisha's birthday? Isn't like is Libra doing like a slow clap there too?
She does with the Anybody Want Cake. Yeah, she does the slow clap too.
She did it at the end, yeah.
Yeah, Angela started it. Libra finished it.
Yeah. Okay. So there's slow clap is usually okay, but something bad is about to happen.
Something great on the feed is about to happen. You mean?
All right. So many iconic lines, but Angela talks about the collective. She saw through it.
For the visitors that came to visit me last night, your performance was great. It was absolutely great for a low-budget movie.
The delivery, the pregnant pause. Kirsten, this was amazing.
It's so good. It's so good. And I like how she's talking about her visitors as if she's Ebenezer Scrooge and she just got visited by the ghost of Christmas future.
The ghost of Alliance past, present.
Right? Like, what do you mean the visitors? Like, it's just so ominous the way she calls them visitors.
Whoever Netflix is going to roast next, get Angela on the dais. So good.
That's the sort of line that you just won't get unless you've prepped. You know what I mean? Like, I love off the cuff lines, like give me Reagan in a fight any day, but like it's the fact that it's prepped and the delivery is prepped that makes it so much better, because you know that it's not off the cuff. You know that it's being performed, which makes it funnier.
Like, here's the thing, and I do not believe Angela needs to prep. I believe Angela, if she wants to go off the cuff, she will do great. She'll do great in an argument. But there's a lot of people who gets into arguments that are actively bad arguers. Like, they are not good at it. They just repeat like two lines over and over again. It's like, this is not a fun argument. So like, I agree other people need to start prepping, but if Angela just came off the cuff, like, you're telling me she would not have came up with some bangers?
I mean, yeah, she would have called you literally poop and diarrhea. That's what she they didn't show that part of the fight.
That was a good one.
See, what I'm saying is that even if she did come up with some great bangers, they'd be too good. It's worse when she's prepped it, which makes it better. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, this is electric TV and a great little house meeting fight, but I really don't think we should be overemphasizing Angela's skill as an arguer. Like, she is not a great orator. She really only had like like she said crazy eyes a bunch. She called him, poop, his words are poop, and she was really replaying the greatest hits, and that's after she prepped all night. So like, It was great. It's great TV, a great fight, iconic moment, not a moment in history, but
Yes.
like.
You know what, Kirsten?
So
I'm just like, I just feel like we're all great podcasters on this podcast.
Except for you. Don't talk to me.
How dare you?
Okay, anyways, for the rest of my time on this podcast, I just want to have a great time. I just want to enjoy with all of you. Not you, Taran. Don't talk to me.
Taran, you're one of the tastemakers. You've watched a lot of cinema. Why does Angela have to budget shame these movies? Aren't there plenty of great acting performances in low budget film?
You know, there certainly are, but as somebody who has seen a lot of low budget film, fair.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, all right, to everybody, great performance. One of the other great lines she talked about, Matt, you aggressively threatened me, and that's not okay. I'm flattered that you think I'm such a big threat. By the way, and MJ, for you?
And I think MJ could do better.
All right.
Why am I in
All
it?
right.
Name names. Who?
Um,
Who you thinking, Angela?
I just like also like was Angela threatened aggressively? Like, can we please be so real for a second?
Was she threatened aggressively? The correct answer is the no. Was she threatened? Debatable. But like, I get it. I get it. Like he said, I would have threatened you, and that's equating to a threat to me.
I like in the moment she goes, "You just scared me," as like, and that's when the wheels start turning. It's like, girl, sit down. What are you doing?
Kirsten, I think this is a really great question in terms of Angela. In seriousness, that do you feel like is she playing this up, or in her perception, is this what actually happened? Or can it be both?
I think anyone who acts unhinged in that way has to believe it themselves, whether they initially believed it themselves or if they made themselves believe it later on. Like, generally speaking, people aren't just lying. They make themselves believe things that are not true.
Like,
I disagree.
have seen a lot of Karens on TikTok. So this is like in color.
Like, what is she gonna shut down a kid's lemonade stand next? You know?
I think she is intentionally exaggerating that point. And the reason I think that is because, you know, A, she rehearsed the whole thing in the first place, but B, she consistently will say, like, after conversations or even sometimes before conversations, like, oh, I'm about to completely lie to this person, or like, I'm about to lie to this person, but really poorly, and then admit to it so that I seem like a bad liar. Or you know, and like when they approach her with the collective, she'll be like, oh my God, I love it. And then immediately be like, I hate it. They're lying to me. Like, she is totally somebody who will, I think, be completely willing to exaggerate particular points. And I think the only way to know what she actually believes is what she says to the cameras. And I don't know that I've ever seen her actually say to the cameras, like, I genuinely felt very threatened by Matt. I think she's more so felt like, oh, he's running the game. What can I do to crucify him? So while I do think she is perfectly capable of coming up with some wild conclusions, I think that particular point was intentionally exaggerated.
Angela continues on to Matt. She has talked about his looks from night one. He's a good-looking guy, but not anymore.
When I see this man walk in and how good looking he is, but I don't think that anymore. Because you know what, you can't be pretty on the outside when you're ugly on the in.
Okay.
And what it's again, like, it's the delivery of this is so excellent because you can tell that it's like she's prepped the script, right? The script is she's talking about how good looking he is, but she can't help herself but go on a quick side tangent of like, and you know, you're so good looking, but you know what? Not anymore though. And then she starts to continue again, but then goes, wait, no, I got to double back one more time because you can't be pretty on the outside if you're ugly on the inside. And it's just like, she just had to get that bit out. It's so good.
It's and another thing.
Like,
this
I would
go
like
ahead,
to say
AJ.
real quick.
Yes.
In my personal opinion, Angela is 100% in the wrong. I love you, Angela. You're an amazing person. Please stay on my TV forever. Matt started it. Let's call a spade a spade. Like Matt started it. he did. Like, he's the one who got butt hurt. He got butt hurt over being complimented, and then he got on tirade and was talking to Angela some type of way. Did Angela escalate? Yes, escalators are not good. But Matt, this start with you. So you are not free of blame.
Now, AJ, talk that through. That from night one, that comment he took that comment the wrong way, and that was the little domino that got knocked over that caused this.
Rob, I've been on how many podcasts? Not a goddamn one of y'all have told me that I am so attractive that I'm probably going to get a show hands.
Well, now we can't. Now we look
Well,
what happens.
actually, AJ, you can't be attractive on the outside if you're ugly on the inside.
Yeah. Okay. And I was gonna put up that Swante says, AJ, why are you serving?
Oh, thank you.
So
Appreciate
true.
it.
So true.
Okay, you can call me now.
Okay. So on this past season of Deal or No Deal Island on Dondi, a confessional that was given was somebody said that this person should eat her makeup because she's so ugly on the inside.
Oh.
I feel like that's a very classic, that's like a take on a Tumblr post from 2013. Or it's like, oh, you're so, it's too bad you can't eat makeup because you're so ugly on the inside.
Because the makeup will make your insides prettier.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that anything pretty would happen to your insides if you eat makeup. I'm
No,
not a
probably not.
scientist or a doctor, but I don't advise it.
Okay.
Like, honestly, it's going to be nasty later on, but that's a different story.
All right.
It's gonna be nasty from the start, AJ.
Yeah, every part. All right, so Matt's upset. His mom is watching this, and Angela says,
Her son is a straight up disrespectful brat.
He's so Julia. He's everywhere.
Like, she tried to make it up to him. She called him a brat, being like, you know what? I know I said a lot bad earlier, but since it's brat summer.
But also, Kate,
Forgive me.
this is what's wild too, is he gets so mad that she brought his mom into it, but he said, my mom is going to see you as a mom act like this. And so I don't know what
don't mom
he was
shame.
expecting to get that. So why are you bringing your mom into it? You can't win a fight on your own. Come on.
No, did you see him in that?
I mean,
No.
let's be real. He kind of intentionally brought his mom into it so that he could use his mom
Mm-hmm.
But what
in
he
the argument, which
is
he
that
then did.
Angela's a mom to a fault, okay? So she will critique his mom too.
Yeah. I mean, Matt's whole reaction to this, is Matt okay? I mean, he was very, very upset over just any mention of his mom. I don't know his backstory.
He cares a lot about his mom.
Cares a lot about his mom. He's doing this whole thing for his mom.
Like, I'm gonna be honest, if that was my mom watching me, she would have been like, boy, why aren't you fighting back? Like, you gonna get disrespected on TV like that?
I mean, thankfully no one's talked to me like that in a long time, because I mean, my mom would be a full poltergeist and you'd be dead. I don't know what to say.
Wow.
Pretty sure it's not sweet.
It's literally, my mom verbally got into an altercation with a teenage girl when my sister was in high school who was mean to her. So listen, Vanessa literally said, do you want to go to a 16-year-old child?
Wow.
Honestly, great memory of my mom. I'll tweet about it later.
I just love the introduction of the insult brat to the Big Brother lexicon. I'm excited that this is now potentially a thing that people will be called in future seasons.
Yeah, it's happening. Kirsten, we're doing brat shirts.
I'm literally, Rob, I beg you do a chartreuse shirt that just says RHAP, all lowercase, and that font. It will sell out. I
We
promise.
were trying to figure it out. Okay, we'll work together on this after, okay?
I can't wait.
All right.
I want that. I want it in a baby tee so bad.
Okay. All right. Guide us on this, okay? All right.
I got you.
Then this was Taran, I heard you say this on Sunday. I never heard this turn of phrase. Here's Angela again.
Your words are... So you should just put it back in your ass.
If I did not hear you talk about this on the live feed up there, Taran, it would have taken me 15 minutes to figure out what the blank was.
I was very unsure about if they would include this line, and I ran a prediction on my stream while we watched. I was like, will they include this? Because they might need to censor 2 parts of it. And if they censor both parts, it's impossible to parse. And if they only censor one part, it still might be a little difficult.
Yeah, it's like, what the bleep?
Honestly, it would have been so funny if they had bleeped both words.
So for anybody that doesn't know or maybe doesn't remember, she's saying your words are poop. So you should put them back up.
Put them
Are
back.
we not allowed to say the S word on this podcast?
I mean, I think you could say it. I think
We
I
just
think-
did
say
already
it?
on the update.
It's almost
Yeah.
11 o'clock Eastern.
Oh yeah, but this is the
Yeah.
update. This
Baby's
is like
in bed.
primetime
Yeah,
TV.
okay. But like parents, if you're in the car with your kids, put them on high alert. But I have never even imagined the concept of putting the toothpaste back in the tube.
It's honestly
How did you even go about that?
it's
Listen,
so clever.
stool transplants are a thing, and they're
Yeah,
medically
I guess
necessary
so.
for some
It makes
people.
sense.
I guess so.
Because
But I
like you've heard like your words are shit. You've heard shove it up your ass.
Right.
But have you ever heard the combination of the two?
She's brilliant.
Taran, why did you sound so uncomfortable saying that?
Because I don't say it.
Taran
Yeah.
would never stoop to such poor language. Meanwhile, AJ and I all summer long are gonna be like, "Your words are shit, and you should put them in your ass."
That's like when you say like a fantasy term from a book that you've only read but never said out loud.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't even have to be a fantasy term. It could just be a word you've never heard before.
Just it's poetry. It's incredible.
It's so special. Like, it's just so special that it happened and we got to watch it and how we get to talk about it.
Yeah, just amazing.
Your words are... So you should just put it back in your ass.
Put it back.
I think I would have just had to leave self-evict. I think if somebody said that to me, I was like, okay. All right, good night, everybody.
You
I'm
won.
out.
Thanks. Congrats.
I truly think, like, if this was happening to me, I would probably just be like, gotta go, and just leave the room. Like,
Yeah. No, I would think that I was like on some kind of like Joe Schmo show. I think at that point, I think I would just be like, all right. Is everybody in on this?
I mean, I wasn't sure at first, but I'm reasonably certain I saw this woman on Dr. Phil. There's no way.
I can't wait for them to use this line on Jury Duty season 2.
Yeah. I mean, you would say like, okay, all right. I think that it's obvious it's fake now. Come on, they took it too far. Yeah. Kudos to Joseph, who then had the capper at the end of this.
I think that'll make the episode.
Yeah. Not wrong.
I mean, spot on.
That'll play, right? Yeah.
I mean, like, a lot of stuff happens in 24 hours of Big Brother, and each episode is more than a day's worth. So it's like, I feel like it's probably rare to really know that you're living in a moment that's for sure going to be in the episode.
Yeah.
Like truly, that moment was 100% guaranteed to make the episode. But there was also so much that happened between like the veto comp and like post veto. The fact that it all got cut, I was like, man, a lot of this is gold too. But
So good.
Angela's so good.
So good.
I hope she never changes.
Okay.
At least not in the Big Brother house.
Well, yeah, maybe in the world. But we don't know if that's how she acts in the world, so I don't know.
We don't know, but considering some of the things that y'all were talking about from the Angela Dr. Phil episode, I don't know. I think that maybe this might be a window into what's going on in Angela's house.
I mean, listen, she's been on Dr. Phil. She's been on The Price is Right. She's been on Let's Make a Deal and now Big Brother. And when I tweeted about it and people were like, oh, she was on Hoarders too, I just believed it. I was like, oh yeah, she was on Hoarders, but it turns out that was not true.
Oh, you saw how I just believed you. I was like, oh my God.
There was a lot of fallout from this. Everybody was upset after this. Let's talk about some of the fallout. Taran, did they do a good job capturing what the aftermath of this was?
I think so. I think for the most part. I mean, my thing was, and like, you know, it's totally fair. I'm not judging the reaction, but I was thinking for myself, if Angela said, Taran, you can do better than Matt, I don't know that I'd feel insulted. I kind of would feel like, oh, okay.
I mean, yeah, Matt's pretty good. He's a pretty good looking guy, right? Like, and I could do better than him.
I mean, that's kind of a compliment, no? I mean, I don't know. Like,
well, I mean, but when it follows up totally assassinating your character, it might be less of a compliment.
But she never assassinated Mackenzie's character. She's just saying, you know, she could do better.
You could do better. Yeah, you're right, Taran. That is a compliment.
Yeah.
See, usually when an older woman says that, they're trying to set me up with their daughter, but that's a different story.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Literally. I just any older women watching the podcast, if you have a daughter the right age or AJ, just slip into his DM.
He's serving. He's listening to the podcast version.
And then no matter who it is, I'll just be here to say, AJ, you can do better.
Let me ask the question. Okay, so obviously, like, Angela is forever changed in the mind of us viewers. But for the people in the house, did they like shrug this off, or is Angela now forever branded to them as, okay, this is not a serious person?
There's definitely a decent amount of that. But we are seeing a lot more of Angela than most of them are. They saw this whole display, yes, but like feed watchers themselves, they have no rewind function. So they can't even go to Twitter and look at the clips. They just experienced it in real time, and before they knew it, it was over. And they remember it as a blow up. They remember it was like wild,
and it was early.
They don't have the details of how absolutely unhinged it was, unless they distinctly remember them. And so they definitely did a lot of damage to Angela's perception, but not as much as like maybe as like our perception of Angela, especially because then we get to see even more stuff that was cut out of the episode from like after this whole thing. And how there was a whole apology and then quest for like a volunteer for the block and more kind of imagined assumptions on people volunteering when they didn't even know what was happening. Like there's a lot more going on that just further adds to all of this. And they don't see her in the diary room either talking about like, oh, it's all a lie. So there's definitely a lot of people being like, yeah, the collective is maybe not a thing if Angela's going to be in it, but they're not quite at the level that we are, I think, tonight.
Yeah.
And they don't know what Matt said that made Angela feel threatened, right? So like, there's been discourse of, oh, well, she wouldn't, blow up like that or react like that if it wasn't real. So he must have like truly threatened her. And so then that also feeds into the perception as well.
Earlier in the episode, we got the first real showmance segment of Matt and Mackenzie. AJ, do you feel like that is Big Brother trying to get us on the side of we are rooting for Matt and Mackenzie?
So I feel like it is hard to edit this show to not be on Matt's side if you're a casual viewer and not watching any live feeds. Because God bless that man. Angela did come at him crazy. Oh, so I think it's like you're being very sympathetic to not just Matt, but to people around him. Like you get to see MJ crying for Matt. Like you're like, okay, these two are really like something we want to root for, we want to cheer on, and that evil Angela, how dare she? So yeah, from the show, they want us to root for it.
Yeah, I mean, leaving Matt and Makensy aside, like I would suspect after watching now 4 episodes of the show, Kirsten, I think if I went over to the Big Brother Facebook page, I would think that Matt is probably the favorite contestant of people who are watching the TV show, and I think it's probably not close.
Yeah, he definitely has to be up there just from the amount of screen time he's gotten, in addition to being, you know, an attractive,
crying, sensitive,
about his mom,
showman, about his mom. Yeah.
He cares about his mom. Okay, well, I'm headed to the Big Brother Facebook page right now. I'll update you when I get the information.
Oh, yes. You're doing the Lord's work, Kirsten. Oh.
I'm researching. Yeah, I'm going into the trenches for us right now.
Trenches. let us know. But Taran, yeah, they definitely got like the schmoopy showmance vibes going on, even with like a little bit of like the goofy rosacea versus focaccia conversation.
Yeah, and that's that's also part of what we talked about with the perception of Angela is that another key element of it is that nobody really likes Matt in the house. At least a lot of people don't. And so Angela going off on Matt is kind of like no skin off of my back. Like, the low budget movie was the worst line in their eyes. But if you're watching the episodes, you probably don't get that perception. You probably feel like Matt, basically the incorrect assumption that Angela has, which is that Matt's running the game and everyone loves him, is the perception that they are giving to the show viewers that like, oh, well, he seems great. Everyone seems to love him. Leah's on his side. He's got this showmance with Makensy. And speaking of the showmance, Rob, I miss old Big Brother when they used to not shy away from the fact that these people had situationship, like significant, like whatever it is that they have at home.
They would talk about it.
We used to talk about it. We used to go to that person and have a segment with
like,
them.
hey, so what do you think? Your person is having a lot of fun this summer.
And then they'd go on the Amazing Race together afterward. Like it was a whole thing. It was a whole ecosystem. Yeah. So nowadays,
Taran, we hide all of it. Yeah. What is who has the situation here? Makensy does.
Makensy, and listen, honestly, no judgment on her. She's got like a month-long thing that she met some guy recently that she's like, well, now I'm going on this show, and so I'm probably gonna do something. But there was a very like, it was a conversation that I think was a lot better television than what we got in terms of like her then asking like, do you see that as a challenge, Matt? And him being like, well, I would feel really bad for the guy, so I would never do that, but I am still going to be flirting with you. Like that's much better television to me.
Kirsten, is it ethical? Could we interview Makensy's guy? Is that okay?
I mean,
if he wants to come on the podcast.
I don't see why we couldn't do it. I just don't understand why we didn't. If we were going to do that sort of behavior, why didn't we start last summer?
You know what?
There's people we could have interviewed.
I do personally think that going to the significant other shouldn't be done. I think that is the step two. But I do think that we should talk about it.
What if they want to come on?
Listen, if they want to come on, I genuinely, to like be a little serious, I do think that like family members and people at home who are impacted by what happens on the show, like they should be approached with care. And even if they want to come on, like maybe that's not in their best interest, and we can like let them do it on their own terms instead of trying to like exploit their situation for like our own gain. But I'm sure there are some circumstances where it's like, if there's something that we can do to help
their
them. Story, and so like, yeah, I mean, it's a whole complicated situation.
Okay.
But yeah.
For instance, okay.
would you like to talk about it? And see what they say. Let them
And
take
then
the lead.
also maybe we said, okay, and then Mackenzie's ex. Are there any women in the chat who'd like to go on a date with you now?
You
Isn't
know
that
what?
fair?
You know
Isn't
what,
that
Mackenzie's
fair?
ex? You can do better. You can do better.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'd also like to report. So the Big Brother Facebook page hasn't posted in like a
Yes,
week.
that's
So
what
I don't
Puya
know if
said
they're
in the
doing
chat.
Facebook. But Instagram, they posted a reel with excerpts from the fight of her calling Matt a brat, and then it goes like chartreuse and says brat over top, and the comments are like, remove her behavior is disgusting. Oh, don't they have to go through psychological testing? Like, people are pretty pro Matt, I'd say.
Yeah, I think so. All right. So let's get back to the business of Big Brother. We had a veto competition, and it was the old Technotronics competition.
Yeah.
It's been a minute since we saw this one.
It's
so
been
back.
a while.
Mhm.
And there's no reason for it to have been a while because this is such a great competition.
It used to always be the first veto.
It always delivers. It's also a competition that like has a variety of outcomes. Like it's not just the most athletic person. And so like it's an equitable comp. It's a fun comp to run. It has delivered some iconic moments from the show's history. And I'm really glad it's back. And in addition, Rob, they've added an extra twist to this that
A couple.
was actually pretty good. And it
Okay.
made me feel like they actually put thought into like improving this competition.
So
which
the twist I'm assuming that you liked is not that there was honey that we had like a
no, yeah,
Sheriff
it was the honey
Kathy.
and the slime. That's what I'm,
Yes.
Why would
No,
you
but
assume that's
That's
what
Taryn's
you-
favorite part of Big Brother is all the sticky stuff.
Okay,
Duh.
a sticky situation for sure. But there was the exploding letter that they added. Is that the part you liked about this, Taran?
Yes, the delete
Okay.
tile. Is very fun.
The delete tile, and which I think is interesting. I don't know if it was used to its most strategic benefit, because from the way I understood it, okay, you find that you could delete a tile at any point. Here comes Kenney, finds it immediately, and just deletes the E for no reason.
Yeah.
Like that's a letter people would use.
I kind of liked it though. E is like one of the most frequent letters. That's why it's the vowel you get at the end of Wheel of Fortune.
Right.
That you don't choose. Like it really limits.
But could other
and
people
it's
see the letter that got
Right.
deleted on the board?
By doing it so early, he just put everyone on the same playing field.
Yeah, I guess.
It's like this will mess with them. And
Like if
me.
you save it until later, you can pick a letter that you think is going to be used commonly that you know that you didn't include in the word you've already started.
Like,
Yeah, so
fair
you should
enough,
have
but,
planned
like,
to delete E, but waited to actually do it.
Mhm.
like E is a lot better letter to delete than the H that Lisa ultimately did. Like, so I'm not mad at Kenney for that. And was he early? Sure, why not? But his work probably didn't start with E. And guess what? That mother effer got someone. He got someone with that still.
Did
Okay. We revealed everybody's words. Joseph tried to spell the word spin, but then got busted that he used the Z as an N.
To be fair, that was a pretty confusing looking ZN.
Mhm.
Like, I
Yeah,
thought it
you had
was
to look at the honeycomb itself had clear dimensions that showed which way was up or down. But like, I feel like normally just like put a little mark at the bottom of the letter so it's obvious to everyone.
Yeah,
I
could
don't
have had
think-
an underline. Could have even had like the cross through in the Z, you know,
Yeah.
in the middle.
I mean, they
I
had it on
think
the
he
end
did
of
it
the
right.
W.
Like, he was improvising. He did what the information he had. So I think they should have gave it to him. He wasn't winning anyway. Give
Yeah.
him the spin.
Ultimately,
Give him
No,
spins.
humiliate him. He can't even tell an N from a Z.
Yeah. Ultimately, Lisa is going to win the power of veto with transform, a 9-letter word. And here comes Lisa, who's not gotten a ton of airtime so far here through 4 episodes, other than edible glitter. AJ, what did you think of Lisa tonight?
Like, Well, Lisa's not the most insane person in the house. You know, you have a fun cast. Like, that's what I will say straight up.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. On Friday, Brooklyn French braided Lisa's hair so aggressively it gave her literally a facelift, and I'm worried about her brain under that because that's gotta hurt.
Too tight.
Transform,
Too
I think, is
tight.
a good word, though.
Yeah.
Transform is a good word.
Because you there's a lot of extension to it. Now the problem is that like you want a word that is in segments, and I think like unlike something like understanding or something like that, like the segments are definitely smaller for transform. You can maybe go with form, maybe you could go with like trans, but like until you get both of those, it's like you got to combine them into transform. But once you get to transform, you got transforms, you got transformed. And then if you really have time and you're ambitious, transformation is a huge add-on. So it's pretty good.
Yeah. Taran, I like that you've given this thought. What's the optimal word here?
I haven't given it that much thought. I have. It's I think that the general strategy is just like a word that is segmented as much as possible. So you can go from 3 to 4 to 5 to 7 to 9 to 12. Like that's the best kind of word. And there are, I think, a few of those.
Yes.
And
Okay.
I'd also like once you get in there, if you can't find certain letters, you have to be able to pivot and have a couple of different options as well if you're just struggling. Also, just like Chad, I'm Canadian. We say Zed.
Yeah.
Enough.
Yeah, that's you don't like that?
You better calm down. Get off Kirsten's back. Like Kirsten did it right. Y'all
Grow
stop.
up. I'm Canadian.
Grow
I'll
up.
put you on timeout. I have no power.
Okay.
I'll do it.
All right. So we get our power veto ceremony. Lisa is going to use the power of veto for herself. Now, Taran, I know that there was some business with a apology that was supposed to happen at the power of veto ceremony, but none of that made the episode.
No, and you know, Matt was upset at just the fact that the apology was not what he scripted. And now it's not even in the episode.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine how upset he's going to be when he watches this back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it was for his mom too. Like, how will she know that Angela's truly sorry at this point? Like, it makes no sense.
She only
she's
said
not
it to the
sorry.
cameras on the feeds and not on national television when she was supposed to. And so it's really such a shame. But I will again applaud how they structured this episode, because even though I did like the competition, unlike most that we usually see on Big Brother, it was part of why I did like it. It was short. It was a short comp. And then we got a short ceremony as well. That like we didn't waste time on these. Normally you'd spend the Big Brother would just eat up episode time with this easy to edit stuff. But instead they like actually put effort into this like the segments prior and just kind of like stuck some of the rote things at the end in quick succession. And I thought it worked really well.
Okay.
Just think how much footage they have of people adhered to that honey mixture, struggling. That they were like, I can't believe we have to leave this gold on the cutting room floor. Like,
This
why?
liquid gold. Yeah. All right. So we got Matt up on the block. And so it's going to be Matt versus Kimo, who had some sweet moments in the diary room tonight. Very upset to be up on the block. And then Kenney, who tells us at the end of the episode, hey, don't worry about Kenney.
Better believe I'm not giving up.
No, was anybody saying that he was? Because
well, hold on. Yeah.
What? Read that wrong.
Anyways.
Yeah. Sweet Kenney K. That.
Yeah, has anyone ever called him that before? Just asking for a friend.
Think Sweet Kenney K might have overcooked his sausage.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start calling myself Sweet Kirsty K.
Okay.
Adrian's going to start speaking in third person.
Rob, have you ever overcooked your sausage?
Not recently, Taran.
Okay, good to know.
So, all right, we have our first AI arena coming up, and we got Matt, we got Kenney, we got Kimo going into it. I think we've established here Matt is certainly a fave of the audience, maybe production. Taran, I know you talked a lot about the comps that we could potentially see in the AI arena. You don't think that we get like maybe a more Matt-centric comp?
Oh, you just know they're itching.
Coming up on Thursday.
They're itching to put something physical in there. Like, oh man, we've been so good. We've been so good, guys. You got to give us one. Come on, give us one.
I mean, when the competition is crafting the perfect apology to to Matt's mom, then what? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's listen, I know it doesn't fit the format well, but yes. Yeah. It's the slip inside. Like, come on.
Because I don't think that this is you know, too spoilery to say that as of now that because they don't even talk about who the House is voting for. That has not even come up once. But the House is leaning towards Kenney going out, right? If Matt's off the block, right?
Yes, we can. If Matt is off the block, it will likely.
If Matt's
be Kenney.
on the block, he goes. If he gets off, Kenney. Okay.
Which is interesting from the perspective of the edit because I feel like that has not been in the edit at all.
Has not come up at all. No. Okay. Yeah, I don't even know like how we'll get there because we haven't really seen the rest of the House talk about that they think Matt is a threat or whatever the reasons might be. But I just feel like that, you know, Kenney, who's been such a dud, could go out, or the person who that has been sort of like the protagonist of their story through 4 episodes could go out.
They definitely have a preference. We can say that, I think.
Yeah.
And so do I.
Yes. Yeah.
I think we all know.
Yeah. Okay. What's your preference, Kirsten?
Get Kenney out of the house.
Oh, okay.
Go.
Okay.
Get.
Yes. Okay. I thought it was. I thought maybe you were going to say no Matt, but no Kenney.
Oh my God. I love mess. How dare you?
Like personally, I am on the same page as Kirsten. 100%. Kenney can get the step in. I don't want him no more. He can go. But in 1 month when Matt is running the house with all his comp wins, I did not say that.
I don't even put that out there, AJ. Take it back. Take it back.
I'm sorry. Just like the Lifeys, there's no taking back.
You can't take it back. Okay.
Wow.
All right. So we have something to share with you before we get to the spoilers. We have a knock at the podcast door.
Knock, knock.
Our friend
a
Taylor
visitor
is here. Taylor, how are you?
I have thoughts and opinions. And
yes, please.
Matt is not a victim. Matt is not a victim.
Is he a victor?
No, I mean, we'll see, I guess. But like, I look, you don't want him to be, no shade, but like, I'm sorry. Look, I enjoyed the episode because we had the spelling veto, because we had an incredible argument.
Yes.
But part of it is like, are we not trying to paint Matt to be a little too much of a victim? Like the sobbing and the DR.
You're correct.
Like I'm trying really hard not to just make this all about me. I'm doing my best here. But part of it kind of felt like they took the episode where I had the blow up explosion moment and they just like copied that and they said, okay, take that clip out and then put this argument in. And then take that clip of Taylor crying out and then put Matt crying in there. And then we'll go to the veto. And when he doesn't get to play the veto and when it's clear that he's not going to be taken off the block, we're going to cut to his sad face because that's going to look really, really good on TV. Right. It just, Matt is not a victim. Matt's not a victim. Like, I don't feel bad for him. All this, you brought my mom into this. You brought your mom into this. And she responded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is relevant because this is where I actually disagree with Kirsten and AJ, where it's like, if Matt doesn't go this week, this is what we can expect from his edit for the rest of the season. You know what I mean? Like he is just too much of a production favorite. It's going to be frustrating to watch all season long. And I feel like, Kenney doesn't give us anything, but like, I don't know. I feel like I've seen 1,000 Matts.
I've seen 1,000 Matts. Also, here's my other thing. Are we fans of the show? Are we all fans of the show? The person that said, I don't want to be here anymore is the person that you drag as far as you possibly can in the game. What do you mean let him go? I want to see that old man get dragged along, begging and screaming going every week. And I want the whole house going, I don't know, man. We really want to do what you want. I don't know who's keeping you here, buddy.
I really want to vote you out.
Actually, yeah, letting Kenney suffer, that pleases me greatly. I'm on board.
I would rather see Kenney begging to be gone and everyone saying, oh, I really tried to get you out, buddy. I don't know who's keeping you. Must be for their game. It's for
I know you just got that unanimous vote to stay, but I voted against you 100%.
I absolutely did.
What's very funny is that, like, so for those that might not know, Kenney has basically asked to be voted out over Matt because he feels like Matt deserves to be there more, and he's maybe like regretting coming. And so,
Taran,
You better believe I'm not giving up.
well,
What? Read that wrong.
yeah. So what is kind of funny if Kenney stays over Matt is that Kenney will be very upset, I think, that they voted to keep him, and will probably go off on some people about it.
And again,
if this was Angela, I'd be like, yes, 100%. She would go off on some people. Kenney has not shown me he has that fire. He has not shown me he has that dog. Kenney.
Well, so when I say go off, see, this is why I think like Angela has made Matt more entertaining. I think that Angela will be like, Kenney, why aren't you happy? And then there will be a going off amongst them.
yes, Oldie's fight. I want to see it, please. Give it to me now.
Like,
Yeah,
I would
no,
say
Taylor,
that's
Taylor, you phrased it properly for me. You've changed my mind. I would like to see Kenney suffer through all 98 days.
And here's another thing. I'm like, listen. I had my fun on my season. I will admit it. Okay. I understand why you guys hate watching showmances. Oh my God. We talk. And you know what? If they want to get together and be a happy, loving couple outside the house or get to fucking on the live feeds, you guys have so much fun.
Yeah.
What I don't want to see is all this, I don't know, maybe we're in a showman's, maybe we're not in a showman's. I'm a good boy, but I'm a bad boy. But I'm a good boy, but I'm a bad boy. People want me to be. I am not interested in this. When there is Angela going psychotic in the best way possible, I think like you need people who have been on Dr. Phil to be the right amount of crazy without actually spinning out to go on the show. So like the other two people, I need more Angela yelling at whoever the hell she wants to yell at over, oh my God, but like we're both so cute. And like I don't want to have a showmance, but production kind of wants to have a showmance. And like I was kind of told that like I'd have a showmance here. So like maybe you're my showmance. Again, I own it. Same thing was told to me. I was in that house being like, okay, like I'm supposed to have a showmance in here. Which one is it? Have my fun. I own it, but I also understand why you guys hate it. My apologies.
No need.
Yeah,
need.
Taylor, you didn't do it. It wasn't in an annoying way. What was going on with you? Don't you worry.
I'm so glad Taylor Hall decided to join us tonight to give some
The
thoughts.
great Taylor Hall. What a winner.
Yes.
Yeah. I changed my name. Actually, I only told Brooklyn. So, you know, she's just really representing for the
That makes sense.
She's so dialed in.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
poor Brooklyn was caught in the towel for the Angela fight.
No, you know what? I love that. Brooklyn reacted exactly how I want people to react during fights. My girl was laughing during that fight. She hid her face. She got her little giggles in. She had her eyes all wide looking at Mackenzie talking about, now, why are you in it? Caught in the towel, stuck in the bathroom, said, oh, is mess happening? To the kitchen. And then when stuff really blowed up, she walked into the kitchen with that towel on. You know what? Brooklyn, I've seen what they said about you. And I've seen what they said about who you associate with. From what I have seen so far on the show, I am proceeding with caution. I like her. I enjoy her as a character, as a person. I think she's navigating the game well. So I'm gonna give her soft 10s until I'm proven otherwise.
Okay.
Cautiously optimistic.
Cautiously optimistic.
It's incredible.
Clearly, we need more married mothers on the show.
We need real representation of married mothers. I'm rooting for another first to win.
Another first married mother.
Like the Married Mothers truly are giving. Like you got Angela, you had Sari, you had Felicia. Like you know what? Brooklyn was on to something. More Married Mothers on TV.
Can I actually talk about this briefly? Because if you're not following the live feeds, because I doubt this will make the episodes anytime soon, if at all. But like, there actually is a married mother feud happening in the house, and of course, it's I think one-sided at the moment. But Angela very much like will watch Brooklyn on the spy cam and be like, "I'm on to you, Brooklyn. I know that you see me as your competition. That's how I see you too. I'm gonna get you before you get me."
So like over under on when Angela's gonna get evicted, like pre-jury, jury.
I think week 3.
Week 3.
Why would you put that on us? We want her for.
I wish they
But that's what happens, AJ. I don't want it. I want Angela in the final 2. But that's what happens. These supernovas burn hot and bright, but they go. They can't stay. It's against the nature of the game.
Rob, is there a world where Angela and Matt sit together in the final 2, like Kevin Martin? And
I wish. It'd be a dream come true.
No, I don't need Matt to final 2.
But if he's gonna make Angela berserko all summer.
Oh my God, a final 3 where Angela and Matt have to be around each other that last week. Oh,
but it's also, Rob, like, it's not unique to Matt that he's driving Angela crazy. She'll find that in someone else when he goes home. We're gonna be
That's
just
true.
fine.
I don't know if there's another person that could bring all of this out of her.
I don't
honestly,
think it takes
I
a
don't
lot,
know.
Rob.
You
I
think
don't
so?
think
As
it takes
Brittany
a
once
lot.
said, I think a bottle of ketchup could bring this out of her.
Okay.
Don't
All right.
trigger Brian's gal.
Bet. Okay. Let's go.
like Taran, tell me who on this cast do Angela not have an issue with? Like full stop. Like
Nobody.
Kendrick Lamar
Yeah.
said it's okay to be a hater. Angela took that to heart. Like, baby, let me tell you.
Well, and yet I feel like Tucker displays way more hater tendencies than Angela does.
And she's on Tucker now. She's like, this guy's trying
That's
too hard
wild.
with me.
It's like that. This is the Angela whisperer, and she's like, "Never mind, it's over."
There
It's
is no
done.
Angela Whisperer.
Well, he has moments. He's had moments of being the Angela whisperer.
Only if Dr. Phil himself walked into this house would
Hey.
Angela have a solid
No.
outfit.
Angela.
Angela would be screaming at Dr.
I'm
Will
back.
within half a day.
Down.
It would not be good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Should they cast more people from Dr. Phil?
They did, Brooklyn.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, do we know that these are the only Dr. Phil people who've been on Big Brother? Because I wouldn't be surprised if this was like a rich casting pool and we've just missed it.
You know what?
I feel like surely we would have heard of it.
Yeah, y'all be digging. Y'all.
Yeah, that's right. We're
Y'all be digging.
weirdos. We're weirdos. You're right.
At
Yeah.
least you own it.
Hey, Taylor, you want to stick around to hear the live feed spoilers?
Yeah, I haven't been glued as much as I need to, and I
Okay.
think the background. So please play the song.
All right, here we go. Yeah.
The Office of Civil Defense has issued the following message. This is
A spoiler.
warning.
A spoiler.
Warning means that an actual
Spoiler.
against this country has been detected and that protective action should be taken.
All right. We are less than 24 hours away from eviction number 1, Taran. What's the state of play here on Waffle Wednesday?
No waffling today.
Yeah.
As we've already kind of spoiled a little bit, the vote is on Matt. If Matt does not win the AI arena competition, he is, as of right now, going to be voted out. If he does win the AI,
Is it a unanimous vote if he stays? Or
not
Makensy?
likely to be unanimous at this time, and not likely to become unanimous either, because nobody wants to admit to Matt or Matt's people that they are going to be voting him out in the event that he wins the AI arena competition. So,
And who are Matt's people? Just Leah and MJ?
Leah, MJ, and kind of Lisa, but only really because Lisa thinks that he has the whole house behind him and doesn't want to go against the house. And or at least that's the part of the reason that she has said she wants to maybe vote to keep Matt. but she doesn't realize that actually everyone in the house wants Matt out, but they're not telling her because they don't want Matt to know in the event that he wins the AI arena competition.
Taylor, would you have celebrity chef Lisa cook a meal for you when she gets out of the house?
I gotta try it. I just gotta see what's going on. You know, maybe I can get like a BB alum discount if she's willing.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I don't know.
You're okay
Have you
with
seen
the
how
edible
she cuts
glitter?
zucchini?
You know, I don't care how you cut the zucchini. I just need to know if it's seasoned and not just with glitter.
Kirsten, what does she do to the zucchini?
Odds they were just talking about how she can't possibly be a chef because the way she cuts zucchini proves that she can't be a professional.
What does she do?
I would have to admit I haven't clocked it, but I'm not like phenomenal with the knife skills.
She didn't
Yeah.
zucchini.
Taylor, I do feel like I have to warn you that if you have Lisa cook for you before you allow Tucker to cook for you, you will make an enemy for life in Tucker. He will be very upset with you.
I can't make an enemy out of Tucker. I know his ex-girlfriend and they're on great terms. So like, yeah, we're all good.
You're on great terms or they're on great terms?
All of
everybody.
I never met Tucker, but you know, it's all good.
Okay.
Okay.
That being said, just a note for any chef that wants the Big Brother house. Don't say you're a professional chef outright because that sets the expectation too high. And so when you start cooking for people, they're going to be disappointed. They're not going to want to keep you around that much longer. Like, you know, don't set yourself up for failure, please.
Okay. It's a good note.
Chef Joe did all right. They loved his turkey burgers.
Oh,
I feel like he made some good stuff with slop too that made
He
it
did.
more edible. Yeah.
Not glitter?
He did not
No,
use
they
glitter.
didn't have edible glitter in the house in BB14. That's wild.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think edible glitter should be two words that combine, personally.
Like,
No.
why is edible glitter a thing? Like, you don't need
Well,
a
it's like
glitter by your food.
I feel like people
Do
put it in
you?
like cocktails, so then you have like a really glittery, shiny, like unicorn cocktail can be a bit of a vibe. I don't think it's supposed to be like in everything kind of thing.
Because I saw the videos, she just going up and throwing glitter on the food. Like, ma'am, keep your glitter to yourself.
I'm talking about bam with
She's
the
a
glitter.
glitter
Bam!
bay. Yeah.
Glitter bay. It feels very bachelorette party, like, you know, that's the vibe. I'm
Like
getting.
I really can't see a time for it other than like if you're making a special cocktail for like a ladies' night or just like a drinking night, and you're like, oh, look at these glimmering margaritas or martinis or whatever.
Well, when you have when you have Lisa curating the vibes for you, every night is one of those nights.
Yeah. Okay.
Honestly, it makes me love her.
Tara, what was going on today?
Not a lot. There's been some conversations, particularly, this is going to be confusing, but one of the more solid alliances in the game right now is called the Pentagon. And it has, the core of it are the 3 C's, Cedric, Cam, and Chelsie. And they are kind of like in the best position in the house because they're a tight core. They have a solid 5, but they're also included in a lot of other different things. So they're doing pretty well. The other 2 in the Pentagon are Quinn and Brooklyn. And what we learned today is that Quinn and Brooklyn are very aware of the fact that the 3 C's are the core of that alliance and that they are not going to be like blindly loyal to it. So what we thought was the most solid alliance in the house is not quite as solid as we thought. And so where does Quinn go? Well, he has his own kind of thing going on with the have-not room. They're calling themselves, I believe it's now the Andersons, not the Mr. Andersons currently, because I think Mr. Andersons was declined for being too Matrix related.
Is it a Matrix themed alliance? Oh, because there's
the have-not room is very
very Matrixy. Yeah.
They're not going red pill, blue pill here, are they?
No, please.
I beg.
Please.
I beg no.
So that alliance is Tucker, Kimo, Quinn, and Cam. And so Cam is involved in that. But that's another kind of power base for Quinn, who is also connected to players like Joseph and of course Brooklyn. He also has a relationship with Leah. A lot of people are looking to pull Leah in once Matt and or Makensy leave. So it's basically still just a very, very fluid house. And today kind of solidified just how fluid it is, because even the Pentagon is not quite as solid as we thought.
Okay. Anything in terms of like whipping up the vote for tomorrow? Is there anything like heading into this wacky Thursday?
The problem is that Matt, from before he was nominated to when he was nominated to now, fully believes that he's safe and that he will have the votes to stay. Now, this is in part because there's another alliance that's full of BS, because it's called the BS Alliance. It's the Barbershop Alliance that includes Matt, Makensy, and Leah, but it's completely fake. He thinks with that alliance, he will surely have the numbers to stay, but nobody in that alliance apart from himself, Makensy, and Leah.
Who's in the barbershop?
That's Chelsie, Cedric, himself, Leah, Makensy.
No. Barbershop should be a quartet. That's it.
I literally said it on Twitter the other day, Rob. It's crazy, but it's more than a quartet.
That's too many.
It is too many. But nobody really, nobody really is like loyal to that group. Like even Matt himself and Leah and Makensy are like, yeah, this is like our thing for now, but like they're not like actually super loyal to it. So it's a very fluid situation. The only thing that's not fluid is the desire to take Matt out of the game from pretty much everyone in the house.
Taylor, are you looking forward to seeing Angela in Reindeer Games 2?
As Mrs. Claus? Like, what? This is going to be the most dramatic Reindeer Games ever. No, they're not going to put Angela in Reindeer Games. They're going to put Matt in Reindeer Games because he's buff and strong and will do well in those competitions.
Which, I mean, Angela is a top competitor in the season right now and has outperformed Matt.
Yeah.
And the competitions are equally equitable, which I love. I really, really love that. I am concerned, so very concerned about what tomorrow is going to look like. Back again to the first week of season 24, it's similar. Like you could be voted out, but save yourself in a competition. I don't know. I think they just really wanted to see what could have happened on 24 happen again for 26. All that being said, I'm curious. Who is sitting next to who tomorrow night? Like, what's the best odds for Matt to be out? Is there any chance of there being any waffling last minute where, say, Matt and Kenney are on the block together and Kenney ends up going?
Like, he could pull what's her name for Celebrity One and be like, breast milk is dropping up. Please vote me out.
An accidental vote.
Sweet breast milk.
In a weird way, it might be worse, even though everybody wants to keep Kimo the most. In a weird way, sitting next to Kimo would be maybe better for Matt because he at least then has Kenny's vote. Whereas if he's next to Kenney, he does not have Kimo's vote. But man, it's looking rough regardless. I don't really think it's a matter of the combination. It's more so like, do people change their minds at any point? And as of right now, that's not really the case. Nobody's really changing their minds.
A couple of questions from the chat. Honestly, John says, how likely is it that the casuals vote Angela onto the block for America's veto? 100% or 101%? In hindsight, Makensy puts up, but the thing is, it would have been before the episode, right? Like, if Makensy played used the power, when would the vote happen, Taran?
So I'm not sure, but I think that it would have, if she had used it, tonight they would have said vote, and then
Angela would have been. Well, she's she's HOH. She can't do it.
So this would have been the best time to use it.
Yeah,
for Angela.
And then I assume I can only assume that then like the replacement nominee would be named like tomorrow night, like right before the AI comp.
Wow,
that'd be insane.
Yeah. Pastor Steven says, "Did you see the Kenney hair hat?"
Yeah.
What is the Kenney hair hat?
When he was nominated, he had a hat that had like
that had hair
on it.
Ugh.
More like carpet hair, but you can call it hair.
My brain protected me from the Kenney hair hat. It's not real. It can't hurt me.
Pause. We didn't talk about how after the veto ceremony, Angela was doing the most crying, and these people had to console her after she nominated them.
Well, but that's the theme of the whole week is Angela being so upset about not being able to sleep when she's the only one with her own room, about being so upset and not feeling safe when she's literally the HOH and can make the most decisions still. Like, she's at the top of her game, and yet, she's so hard done by. Grow up.
Can we get Angela like having to sleep in the have-not room with Matt and maybe MJ next week?
I don't care if have not the Pink Pony Club room or any room. I don't care. Angela not having her own room and not being safe is going to be cinema. It doesn't matter what room it is.
Yeah. Okay.
I think Angela will play better when she's not in power, personally.
Okay. I mean, we saw how that was for me. Better from the bottom than the top.
But like the spy screen alone, like drops her 5 points on the stock watch.
Like you watch her stare down, you're like, something's cooking in there. There's not good things.
In insider trading, Taran clearly bought all Angela stock to get a meteoric rise next week. Wow, stock watch is fake.
I will give you that. I do think once Angela is surrounded and intentionally easily in the mix of everything, it'll be a lot easier to keep her from jumping over the deep end. Why doesn't she just go downstairs? She's just looking at that screen all day, watching everybody socialize in the kitchen, saying, I see you, Matt. I see you. What about everybody else in that kitchen? What happened to everybody else? How about you walk down the stairs, baby girl? How about that?
What happened to her not actually moving into the bedroom and keeping all her clothes downstairs so she'd have a reason to be in a real bedroom? What happened to that?
The shower's really nice.
This happens to people. They get like the Ring doorbell cam and then they're just watching it all day. Like, why is that person walking by? What are they doing? Why are they walking so slow?
Suddenly, Asia's posting a TikTok of the mail lady dropping her package on the ground.
Did any of you watch those clips from her Dr. Phil episode?
I saw a little bit. Did you watch it, Taylor?
I saw a little bit. All I know is that the gist is her daughter was not speaking to her father for 5 years.
Yes, I heard Taran talking about it with Chantel and Maggie on the round table. I would pay the $1.50 to watch it.
So there's two episodes. One is the house calls episode that is all about Angela's family and Dr. Phil going to the house. The other is free on YouTube. It's a Dr. Phil episode advertising the house calls episode where they play clips from the house calls episode and then have the family come on the stage.
I'll watch it all for the slop this week. I'll make that sacrifice.
Perfect, Rob.
I was gonna enough because it deserves a full recap, Rob.
I mean, if it needs a full recap, we could do that too.
For context.
Yes. Okay. All right.
But listen, Angela didn't just fall out of a coconut tree,
Taylor,
okay?
if you want to watch it, you come back. This will be a great podcast.
I'm with you. I must watch TV.
All right.
Rob, I like how you're in your messy era. Like you're truly embracing Brat.
AJ, Rob has always been messy.
Thank you, Taran.
Yeah, Rob is Brad.
From Hawk to Brat. We're really right. Yes.
One more question. AJ, why are you serving?
He can't help it.
To be fair, you
It's
haven't
all he
answered the
does.
question, AJ.
Yeah.
I'm just taking the compliments when I get them.
Okay. He's doing it. Okay. All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about what else is coming up. Of course, you can leave us your podcast ratings and reviews of this low budget podcast when you go to robinswebsite.com/BB26. Appreciate that here at the start of the season. Then also, plenty more going on. Talking earlier tonight, Summer of Survivor. The challenge is in its Battle of the Eras. We did that exercise for Survivor, casting seasons 1 through 50 for the Battle of the Eras for Survivor. Ali Lasher and Brian Cohen were on with Shannon, Mike, and me earlier tonight, so check that one out. Very fun podcast. Casted 50 survivors for the Battle of the Eras. Also, brand new Talking with T-Bird with Janet Carbon, who joined us to talk about her time on Survivor, why she would love to come back for Survivor 50, and much more. Meanwhile, Taran, it's not just podcasting about Big Brother, not just podcasting about Game of Thrones and scripted TV, but also talk about The Getaway, Taran.
Yes, executive producer Amy joined us to talk about episode 3 of The Getaway, and we learned of a torrid X-rated affair that occurred on this episode, and oh boy, it was feisty.
Wow. All right.
X-rated?
Okay, her.
Okay.
X's? Are we talking just one X or like?
I mean, listen, you can see a little bit of a preview on that thumbnail, is all I'm gonna say.
Doesn't have anything to do with an alpaca, though, does it?
I'm
How
concerned.
did you know?
Yeah.
Wait,
Okay.
what's happening to the alpaca? Pause. I don't know.
It's not my business.
Yeah.
I need some clarification.
You had to
gotta
listen to the
listen to the
podcast.
podcast.
That's
That's
all
a
I can give
tease.
you.
That's a tease. Okay. All right. Then, Kirsten, I've heard so much about Love Island this season. I've had so much FOMO. People are loving the show and the coverage, and what a way to close it out with America Lopez.
Yes, America joined us to talk about the #1 show of the summer, Love Island USA. And we talked about the very deserving winners and great Final Four couples that we had. And she was such a great guest. Even if you don't watch Love Island, definitely some nuggets in that podcast that America fans would want to hear.
Okay. All right. Check that out. That's in the Hot Dummies on Islands feeds. And then, Kirsten, brand new Mess Magnets also.
Yes, Sasha's back. She was traveling and she's home now. And so we got back together to break down some of the current pop culture news that people might need explained to them. It's become more relevant to everyone to know what brat is. So we had to break it down for y'all.
Yes, we all need to know. A great thing that you all do on Mess Magnets is in the description, you have a breakdown of everything that gets covered in the episode with the time codes. Very helpful if you want to jump in. Yeah, what is going on with that? So check that out. Mess Magnets. All right. And of course, become a part of this patron community. We got so much going on. Friday, Taran and I will be back together for the BB Q&A. We take patron calls every Friday. I have a patron 5 for 5 with the first lady of podcasting coming up on Thursday. And then we've got the slop talking about all the Big Brother nonsense with Chappelle, plus access to our Facebook community, our Discord, much more at robhasawebsite.com/patron. Hope you check it out. All right. Great job, everybody, tonight. Taylor, what's
Except
coming
for
up
you.
Oh,
thought
I was looking
that
forward
in.
to having a nice end of the show with everybody.
Except for you, Rob.
Yeah.
So
Taylor.
I'm back doing the exit interviews for Entertainment Tonight.
First one coming up on Friday.
So let's see who I talk to. I cannot wait to download all of the information that they have missed in just the 2.5 weeks of them being gone. So we'll see who's going to be the first to break the news. Special shout out to Haley in the chat. I see you.
She missed the show. Haley, good. Unlike the live feeds, you can go right back to the start.
Wow. Nothing but love and respect for my BB20 winner pick.
Love her. But you can catch me every week pre-jury for those interviews. And then I've also been I started a little new series on my Instagram called We Need to Talk About. So I'll be covering pop culture, maybe a little bit of politics. And so I think I'm still debating, but we'll figure out if I'll do all the heavy Big Brother information on subscribers.
Okay.
Once all that really drops and gets solidified, I will let you all know.
All right. That's on Instagram.
On Instagram. You can follow
Okay.
me at the Taylor Mac on Instagram.
All right, Taylor, thank you for coming in. And anytime you want to jump on, please.
Yes. And never forget, #Matt is not a victim.
Yes, never forget. Okay. Kirsten, what else is coming up?
Yes, so in addition to Love Island and Mess Magnets, currently Too Hot to Handle season 6 is also happening. So Jason Roy joined me to talk about the first batch of that on the Hot Dummies on Islands feed, which
How
was
was
really
it?
fun. I think actually this is the one premiere you would have really liked, Rob, and we dropped the ball not doing a crossover episode.
Yeah, I had it on for a couple of minutes, just to check it out, and they were like teasing returning players. It was going to
be. There's bad Lana. Lana has a jail now. It's really wild on Too Hot to Handle season 6.
They all need jail.
Yeah, she keeps incarcerating people, which is wild. But also, I was on the Survivor 50 wishlist pod for Co Wrong, which came out just on Friday. So if anyone hasn't listened, they can check that out as well.
No.
And yeah, what?
Yeah, very fun. I listened to that one. Good job.
Thank you. Yeah, and you can follow me everywhere at Kirsten Said What, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, everything.
Okay, great job tonight, Kirsten. And then AJ, what's coming up for you?
I'm very happy that Amon and Matt had me as a guest on their podcast, the Diving Room Podcast, where we got to talk about 6 amazing, to varying degrees, 6 Big Brother players. And had a great time doing that. But besides that, I'm just existing in the contest.
Okay, just serving. Okay. AJ, great to have you back with us here tonight. And then Taran, first of all, we'll be tomorrow night back again for the episode. New start time for Big Brother, and we are going to be 1 hour earlier here on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So look for us for the live recap of the first eviction at 9:15 p.m. Eastern time. So just update your very surprisingly and suddenly they announced, by the way, Big Brother Wednesday and Thursday is on at 8, not 9. Sunday nights will still be 9. So be sure to make your plans accordingly. And of course, you'll be back in the morning with the live feed update, Taran. What else is going on?
Well, if you're as smart as Angela thinks you are, you'll find me on Twitch. I'll be live during those episodes. And you have 1 week left to buy a little plushy version of my cat. Ooh. It's a robot kitten.
Yeah.
So go do that.
And we know you're all listening to the Big Brother podcast, but are you even listening to what everything Taran has to say about Game of Thrones? If not, do you even really like Taran? robhasawebsite.com/scripted.
Got some great takes on House of the Dragon. That's why I couldn't be here Sunday, because I was doing House of the Dragon stuff.
Okay. And only 2 episodes left in House of the Dragon, so make sure you check out our scripted TV coverage as well at robhasawebsite.com/scripted. Thank you so much for joining us. We love to hear what you have to say in the comments. We're having so much fun so far in BB26. Thanks for making us part of your Big Brother experience. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.